Yo, what is up everyone? DPX here. Welcome back to another review. Today I'm reviewing Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Spoiler free, okay? No spoilers. And yeah, let's get right into it. But before we do that, you know what to do. Be sure to like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell, leave a comment, or I will suffocate you. So Black Panther Wakanda Forever, I'm going to try my best not to get into spoilers because there's a lot of stuff that happens in this movie that's going to kind of be hard to talk about if I am trying to avoid spoilers. So I'll do my best. But going in, let's say, I enjoyed the first Black Panther. I don't think it's like the best MCU movie. I don't think it should have been the MCU movie to be nominated for Best Picture, but it's a good movie. And, I thought a sequel, it could actually become a really good sequel. And from what I found out, they were, like, Ryan Coogler had a script written, and then, in the middle of a pandemic, their main lead, Chadwick Boseman, died. So they were dealt a very bad hand, and I'm of the opinion that they should have recast T'Challa, but they didn't. They decided not to do that. They decided to go on without their main character, without their main lead, without their main actor, and I was very worried. And then the trailers dropped, and the trailers really won me over. And it's like, okay, so the characters are reeling from the death of T'Challa, just like how we were all reeling from the death of Chadwick Boseman. And, like, that's what I got from the trailers. Going into the movie, as messy and as, kind of inconsistent and as kind of underwhelming that Phase 4 has been, I'm happy to say that we ended on a high note. I wasn't sure how they were going to do this, really. But Ryan Coogler, he was dealt a very bad hand, but he did it. He perfected, what he was able to do with, the circumstances. I think that deserves a round of applause. And without getting into spoilers, each character has, their time to shine. There's one character in particular, I don't want to get into who, but there's one character in particular which I feel like doesn't really get too much time to shine, but everyone else gets a lot of time to shine. There are two standout performances in this. One is, you probably heard a lot about this, Angela Bassett as Queen Ramonda, and, she didn't, from what I remember, she didn't really have a whole lot to do in the first Black Panther, but we really get to see her shine in this. And I've heard of rumors that they're that she's an early consideration for Best Supporting Actress for the Oscars, to be nominated for that. After watching this movie, yes, she deserves that. She deserves to be nominated for that because, she is fantastic in this movie. The other standout performance, although everyone, there's a great performance from everyone, but another standout performance that I think really helped this movie is Letitia Wright as Shuri. And without getting into spoilers, this is kind of Shuri's movie. That might have been a spoiler, I don't know, but I kind of gathered that from the trailers, to be honest. In other aspects, there's obviously there's a new Black Panther. I'm not gonna say who. But there's a new Black Panther in this movie. A character takes the mantle of Black Panther. I was kind of afraid, a little worried, because we see this sort of thing happening where it's look at She-Hulk. She was able to control both the Hulk side of her and the Jen side of her in a fraction of the time it took Bruce to do that. Look at Loki in the Loki series, and I like that show, but he went through the same exact arc that Loki did in a fraction of the time, So it's an issue I've noticed, that they keep having these derivative characters, or these, copies of certain characters, and they have them go through arcs in just a fraction of the time. And, this is one movie, so they kind of need the character to go through the arc. I think the way it's done works. It works. It feels earned. And what it leads to, I really dug. In other aspects, there's characters like Nakia and M'Baku, we get to sort of catch up with them and see where they're at, which I thought was really cool. Especially Nakia, seeing where she is, I thought was very interesting. And the big elephant in the room. You saw from the trailers, it felt like a nice long tribute to Chadwick Boseman, and it was. The way that was done, you know, I'm not going to say this is a perfect 10 out of 10 movie, because I'll get into some issues in a little bit, but the way that the whole tribute, funeral side of things for Chadwick Boseman is 10 out of 10. Perfection. The way they honored Chad Boseman in this movie, perfection. There were moments where, like, they were honoring him, and I was expecting the theater to clap. I wanted to start clapping, but then I'm like, nah, just sink it in, you know what I mean? Just silence. And I'm starting to get teared up talking about it. There are two moments in particular that I'm thinking about, and I feel like you know, if you've seen it, that are they're fucking me up right now. But absolute perfection when it comes to honoring Chadwick Boseman and doing the, like, you know, the funeral for T'Challa in the movie. That's not a fucking spoiler to say T'Challa dies in the movie, but like, or he is dead in the movie, but whatever. It's fucking perfectly done. As for some issues, you got probably the one you were expecting to hear, or expecting something about this to be brought up in this review, and that is the runtime. It is nearly 3 hours long, and I don't think it needs to be. There's not like any specific like sequence that I feel like needed to be cut out. You know what I mean? It's not like there's this one plot line that just doesn't work. Yeah, there are like two characters that it focuses on a little bit that I feel like the movie kind of could have done without, but at the same time, they were kind of important. But they could have shaved off some stuff from there. There's also some other stuff they could have shaved off. But at the same time, it's a movie that took its time to tell a story. You know, another kind of issue I have, and I say kind of because there's aspects of this I like, and that's Namor. Namor, it's really cool to see Namor in the MCU, considering like he's Marvel's first mutant, and he's like Marvel's Aquaman, although he came before Aquaman. Okay, I know. If I didn't mention that, some of you would have corrected me. I know he did. I know he came before Aquaman, alright, relax. And yeah, he is like the villain, or I want to say more, he's the antagonist, because he's an anti-hero. That's not a spoiler, okay? I believe he is an anti-hero in the comics. And my issue with him, though, is I feel like, you know, it's weird, they try to give him layers, like they try to explain him, but I feel like I still don't really know a whole lot about him. I don't know, like he's awesome when he's on screen. The guy playing him, I forget his name, but he's great, and he's very entertaining, and is just he's a badass. I would have liked to know a little more about him. Maybe if we can get, like, you know, maybe a Disney Plus series about Talocan, I think that would be cool. I know Universal, for some weird-ass fucking reason, has the film rights to Namor. I don't know why they have the film rights to Namor, of all characters. But, like, that's why there hasn't been a Namor movie. But, like, maybe, like, a Talocan series, I think could actually very well work. There's some after credits scene, and I just want to say, stay for that. And also, I almost forgot to mention, Riri Williams, Ironheart, is in this movie. Again, not a spoiler, she's in the trailers. And I was a little concerned because, like, you're doing all of this, and you're introducing a brand new character who you're going to give her own show. But I thought the way she was integrated was fine. She's kind of a plot device in this movie, but I'd say she's a decent plot device, you know. She's not, they don't overuse her, and when they use her, I think it's fine. The only thing is, they introduce her and she's kind of important when they first introduce her, and she's kind of important when, like, towards the end of the movie. There's like a middle aspect with her, where I feel like where she's kind of just there, to be honest, but I don't know. And thank God, Marvel did not like, they let Ryan Coogler write the movie, you know, because it's weighty, it's emotional, and they did not mandate him. Now, I don't know if they actually do this, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do. They did not mandate him, hey, write a fucking joke in there. How about there? Some of the jokes, they feel natural. They feel like jokes that, yeah, there are jokes in this movie, but they feel like jokes that, like, you can see someone making in that scenario, you know? You don't have someone explaining their tragic backstory and have a flight attendant being like, hey, you want chicken? In this movie, you have jokes where there should be a joke, or where it would make sense, you know? It's not one joke is out of place. Overall, I really enjoyed Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I don't know if it's better than the original. I think it might, like, a lot of people are saying it's not as good as the first movie. I think it might be neck and neck for me. I personally think the first movie is just a bit overrated. I don't think it's, like, that good, but it's a solid movie, and I think this one is also very solid for completely different reasons, though. This one packs an emotional punch, but also, like, the stakes feel somewhat high, and I think it is a very, very good note to end Phase 4 on. Because we're going to look back at Phase 4, we're going to be like, that was underwhelming, but at least it ended on a high note. That being said, I'm going to give Black Panther Wakanda Forever an 8.5 out of 10. So yeah, that was my review for Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I try my best not to spoil anything. What do you guys think? Do you guys like the movie, not like the movie? Have you seen it? Have you not seen it? If you haven't seen it, do you want to see it? Do you not want to see it? Anything about the movie, let me know down below. Anyways, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, or I will suffocate you. Bye!